Hey everybody, this is Jack Canfield going live on Instagram. This is our third in a series of techniques to help you, and if you have children, help your children develop their self-esteem, their believe in I can't. Hello there, Jessica and Miriam. Miriam is going to join us. Co-author, as you may remember, on the book I Can Believe in Myself. She's going to show up here on the screen any second. So it's connecting. There she is. Hi, Miriam.
Hi, we did it so much quicker today. We're getting better at this.
Yeah, we are. Got people joining us again from all over the world. The salsa, that's Jacqueline, Shaboo Food Truck. Uh, 48 others have joined. Wow. Steve Trejit, who was just on our Facebook page. So we're gonna be a little repetitive for you, Steve. Anyway, hi everybody. Thanks for the feedback. Appreciate it. Someone from West Ireland. All right, so we could keep this as a geography lesson, or we could share with you what it is we want to do today. So anyway, what's happening is, as you know, we are releasing this book, I Can Believe in Myself. It's a children's book that Miriam and I co-authored, and we certainly want you to get that book for yourself and for your children. You can go to Amazon.com and do that. And then each day this week, and also next week, Monday through Friday, we're going to be sharing you for how to develop that sense of I canness in yourself and in your kids. So today is the idea that there's this technique which we call dinner table sharing or bedtime sharing. And if you were with us yesterday, you remember I held up a sheet that said ILAC, I am lovable and capable. And basically the idea is, and significant. And so in order to have high self-esteem, we need to feel that we're lovable, that all parts of us are acceptable, that people love us as we are. We don't have to put on an act to be acceptable. We also want to know we're competent, which means we're capable of handling whatever life throws our way. So we have the skills and the ability and the talents and the perseverance and courage, whatever we need to do that. And then significant means we matter in the life of somebody else. This is why often when a kid learns to take care of a pet, they realize I matter. If I don't feed the fish, take care of the dog or the cat or whatever, the hamster, it could die. And so we are experiencing a lot of challenges in the pandemic where people are sequestered at home. They don't have someone that they're able to make a difference in the life of, like grandparents that can't see their grandchildren and so forth. So these three principles, lovable, capable, and significant. So today we're going to share with you a technique that you can do at the dinner table. And we realize that not everybody eats dinner together at the same time because of sports, because of jobs, because of someone's watching TV while they eat and all that kind of stuff. But some people do. And if you don't, then you can do this at bedtime. Also, this is something you can do in a company at the end of the week, the same technique. So what this technique consists of are some questions that force everyone at the table to talk about what they've done that demonstrates their competence, their lovability, and their significance. And once they know this is going to be a nightly ritual, and Miriam will talk about how they do this in her family as a nightly ritual, that then they start during the day looking for ways to make sure they have something to share at dinner or at bedtime. And that basically gets them into the process of building up not only the doingness of it, but the awareness of their lovability, their capability, and their significance. So basically, there are three questions that you can ask. And if you're in a large family, 4 or 5 people sitting around a table, everybody gets a turn, including the adults, and this can be any age level. So basically, the first question would be, what did you learn today? So if they went to school, they learned something. How many of you have ever had the experience, whether you have kids right at home now or not, where you say, what'd you learn today at school? And they go, nothing. And a lot of times they think that, but they learned something. They learned a new word in Spanish. They learned how to carry the 1 in math. 5 plus 6 is 11. You got to carry the 1 over to the next number and add that up. They learned how to spell a new word. Maybe they learned that Bobby's their new best friend. Maybe they learned how to climb across the monkey bars without falling down, how to tie their shoelace, whatever it is, depending on what age level they're at, but they learn something. And so we want to acknowledge that every day I'm learning, I'm getting better. This is building in the growth mindset that I am learning, I'm capable of learning more. The second thing is, what did you accomplish today? What's a success you had? Something you did. Well, I got an A on my math test. I, kicked a goal. I shot 2 baskets in a gym class that went in. Whatever it is, there's something they accomplished. Even if it's just they got up and they went to school on time. They didn't miss the school bus. They did their homework. They cleaned their room up. They helped with dinner. They set the table. There's always something that they did that they can report on. And once they know that this is something they're going to have to do every day, they start doing things on purpose so they have something to report. And then the third question would be, what did you do for someone else today? How did you contribute to someone else's life? How did you make a commitment to somebody? What did you do? Miriam, talk about that, because I know your kids have done that with you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a question that my husband asks every night at the dinner table. We don't do all 3 questions, but now I know to ask a couple of more. But they're used to the same question. He asks them, what's something nice you did for somebody else? And that's something that we've been doing for years. So when my 8-year-old was, 6 and in grade 1, he'd say something like, I opened the door for my teacher. Or when the teacher asked who wants to help clean the whiteboard, he would put his hand up. And, my other one would say, oh, I shared a piece of gum with a friend. Little things. But then as they get older, they become bigger things. My daughter helped a boy stick up to a bully at school through social media. So it's interesting because my younger one will come to the dinner table and we know when he's super excited to share because he's bouncing as we're serving dinner. He's bouncing in his seat. He wants to tell us. So it's really, really cute. And then when my daughters have their friends over, the friends already know that this question is going to be asked. Or sometimes my daughter will say, I hear her say, oh, they're going to ask that. Do you have something? So they all come prepared. You don't want to be the one that doesn't say something nice that you did. But then also, and my husband and I are also looking for ways during the day, what's something nice we can do for somebody, because we're going to be sharing it as well.
Very good. Very good. So one of the things that I've been looking at this technique and studying about it for a long time. The Kennedy family, the father of Jack Kennedy, who was president of the United States, and Bobby Kennedy, who was the attorney general and later was running for president before he was assassinated, Ted Kennedy, who became a senator. I mean, the whole family got involved in politics, public service. And one of the questions, they would ask 2 questions every day. What did you learn today? And the second question was, what did you do to contribute to somebody else? What act of service did you do today? Which meant that they knew they were going to ask that question, so they would do an act of service. They would find a way to be helpful to someone else. Mm-hmm. So if you know you're going to be held accountable to a question, what did you learn? What did you contribute? Another question is, what do you love about yourself? So we're building that lovable part. Another friend of mine who's used to be the president of the National Speakers Association, when I first joined that as a young speaker, he would tell his children, I know you're going to have an adventure today and you're going to talk about it at dinner. So make sure that you're ready to talk about your adventure. So they would go out to have an adventure because he wanted them to live life as an adventure. So anything you're wanting to instill in your family, your staff, yourself, if you know you're going to be held accountable to talk about it, then ask people to share that. And as we said, if you can't do it at dinner, you do it at bedtime. When you're tucking people in, when you're doing the family, the bath with the 2 kids who are 2 and 3, whatever it might be, always asking the question. So that's a powerful way to be building this. And another thing to do is to have 2 pictures. If we want to build lovable and capable, this is another technique. 1 picture, and these should be framed pictures in your child's bedroom. And one is something they do well, that they love to do. So it could be a picture of them in their baseball uniform, their cheerleading uniform, their band uniform, or maybe just standing next to the piano because they play the piano, or holding an instrument they play, or maybe holding a paintbrush, or holding one of the paintings that they painted or drew. But something that basically says, I'm competent. This is what I'm good at. And then you want another picture of the whole family together smiling. So they go, oh, I'm loved. You know, my parents love me, my brothers and sisters love me. So now I'm lovable and I'm capable. And subliminally, that's going into their mind every day. And then finally, the last thing I would recommend, this is a thing that Stephen Covey, who wrote The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, shared with me once. He said his mother every night would come into the bedroom and she would say affirmations to him. She thought he was asleep. And most of the time he was, but he only learned that he did this. She did because one day he was awake when she was doing it and he pretended he was asleep. But she would say things to him like, "You're really smart. You can do anything you want. You have the skills, the capacity, the knowledge, and the perseverance to achieve any goal you set for yourself." And she would just say these things over and over to him, you know, for a minute or two, every single night when he was young. And so that went into his brain subliminally over and over and over. So you want to make sure you're acknowledging your kids as much as possible and, you know, honoring the things they do well. So tomorrow, we're going to give you another technique that is about self-acknowledgement that you can do for yourself and also teach your children, do as a family exercise. Anything else you want to share, Miriam, before we?
Yeah, well, I'll just say that I loved all these ideas. I'm taking mental notes of all of this because we strive to be better for ourselves and better for our children. The last thing, of course, is to read good books for children and to read a book like I Can Believe in Myself, right? They're going to be entertained through the story, but the message is so powerful. And it's a conversation that you can have around the dinner table or, you know, at bedtime with all your children. So I Can Believe in Myself. There it is available on Amazon for pre-order right now. You may be one of the first to get it if you pre-order early. So
Very
yeah,
good.
yeah.
And actually, there's research. If you're a parent, there's a book called The Read Aloud Handbook. And it's an amazing book. And this was a journalist who started studying the power of reading aloud to your children. And they found if you read aloud to your children for 20 minutes a day, it doesn't matter if it's at lunchtime, the morning, the afternoon, evening, whatever, all the research shows this simple one little intervention called reading aloud to your children. They get better grades in school. They're more likely to graduate. They're more likely to go on for higher education. They're more likely to have marriages that last. They're more likely to get higher paying jobs. They'll make more money over the course of their lifetime. They get sick less often. If they do get sick, they heal quicker. Every single thing you could possibly want that's positive is influenced by reading aloud to your children. So we hope you'll do that. The Read Aloud Handbook is Surrender Living there. Just put that in there. So very, very good. I love you guys. So we have another minute. I'm just going to stay on for another minute along with Miriam. We'll smile at you. And if any of you want to keep putting your name and messages in, we'll say hi to you. Thanks for all the hearts. I see Dario Candelise there. F. Sane. Thank you for that. Good. You're reading aloud, Tony. Ahi. Oslob 64. Julio. Shel Silverstein is best for. I love Shel Silverstein. The Giving Tree, great book. Read that to my kids many. I'm reading it to my grandson. Shruti, Imagineer, love it. Barley, Fun Free Life. Well, Fun Free Life. This is good. Hello from Iran. Good for you. From Museum City. Hi from Chicago. I used to live in Chicago. It's way too cold in Chicago right now. Oscar Daniel from Dallas. I was born in Fort Worth, Oscar, not far from that. Hi there. Teach, translate. Thanks a lot. Egypt. There you go. Marjan, Angela, Michael, Michelle. There's Jeffrey from Toronto, very near where you live, Miriam. From Zimbabwe. I've not been to Zimbabwe. I've been to a lot of countries. Love you guys. Some of you are writing messages longer than I can read real fast. Hello from London, from Iran, from India, from Riverside, California. You know, when I was in high school, I didn't even know half these countries existed. And now we're all talking to each other. It's wonderful. There's
Wonderful.
Ireland, Croatia. I've been to Croatia, Michigan, Jamal Akbar from New York, Arjun from India, from England. You're welcome. Ben, Tehran, been to Tehran. In fact, I talked to someone from, what was it today? Bahrain, South Africa. And got friends in Kuwait and Oman and Dubai. All right, guys. We love you. Love you, love you, love you. I got to get off. And there's Brazil. My dad lived in Brazil for a number of years. I got to
Okay.
go. I've got another call I got to get on. Used to live in Boston as well. Tanzania, haven't been there yet. All right. I'm going to bring this to a close. Thank you. Thank you all for participating. My grandson lives in Brooklyn. I'm seeing that. I'm going to reach out now. I hate to do it. Bye, Miriam. We'll see you all tomorrow.